Today on Mornings on the Hill, booster shot requirements are making the SU headlines and COVID numbers are increasing.
You may want to pull out your snow boots and bundle up as snow begins to stick in Syracuse.
And providing some holiday entertainment, the Nutcracker is making a comeback in the first in-person performance since 2019.
Our men's basketball took on Villanova in Madison Square Garden.
All that plus more coming up on our final Mornings on the Hill this semester.
Good morning, I'm Kritzy Williams. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Adriana Rosas Rivera. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following today.
New rules are now in place for students, faculty, and staff returning after the winter break.
All members of the campus community will have to not only be vaccinated against COVID, but booster shots will also be required before we return to campus. This comes at a time when there are currently 78 active cases on campus, which is an increase of 3 cases in the past week. There are 7 new student cases and 2 new cases amongst faculty and staff. The positivity rate amongst those tested, which is everyone on campus, is at 0.04%. And there was a fire at Destiny USA last night. The flames and heavy black smoke came from the top of the mall above the Cheesecake Factory. The call to firefighters came at 6:35 p.m. and the mall was completely evacuated. About 50 firefighters were on the scene and it took more than 45 minutes to extinguish the flames. Authorities reported no injuries. An investigation is underway to determine the cause of the fire. And the Syracuse City Ballet presented the Nutcracker for the holiday season. Our Gabriel Vega went to see it.
It was absolutely wonderful and beautiful, and this Nutcracker is not like any you've ever seen. I talked to the cast and crew before the show, and of course they were really excited to get back to the theater after COVID.
Syracuse City Ballet had 3 performances of the Nutcracker. It was the first show for them inside a theater since COVID.
It's amazing that we can go back in this beautiful theater with this wonderful crew that we have here.
The Krause-Heinz Theater welcomed over 3,000 people for the performances. The crowd was the largest on Sunday afternoon, when more than 1,500 people filled their seats. Dancer Kara Conley said they had been training endlessly.
It's been very rigorous, 6 days a week, many hours a day. It's very hard, it's demanding, and it can be painful, but the reward is incredible.
Aldo Catan Santiago, who became Syracuse City Ballet's new artistic director this summer, brought a fresh new look to the Nutcracker, correcting racial stereotypes.
The racial stereotypes that most companies, or all, if not all companies, have been doing in Nutcracker are not okay anymore.
For example, the show didn't include an overly sexualized Arabian dance. And Santiago got rid of the yellow face in the Kingdom of Sweets.
They are going to the Kingdom of Sweets, as in the original story, but they are meeting, instead of the Chinese dance, they're meeting the Princess Gumdrops. These 2 are very important characters as well, because I think representation is super important.
Conley is also happy with those changes.
It will certainly give them a new, fresh taste for it, that it can be bigger and better than what they thought Nutcracker could be.
Syracuse City Ballet is really excited for a new season in 2022. Santiago told me he was working on a version of the ballet Giselle. It sounds pretty amazing. If you haven't been to the ballet before, you should really go in the new year. I'm Gabriel Vega, back to you.
Snow is falling and winter break is calling, but what can we expect going into finals week?
And up next, an exclusive interview with students from our military journalism program. Find out what their day-to-day is like after the break. We all woke up to cars covered in snow this morning.
I sure did not miss cleaning my car off, and our Allison Turner joins us with details on a bit of a snowy forecast.
Good morning, everyone. Yep, that's right. We woke up to some snow earlier today. There was some snowfall earlier this morning, but it has since started to die down. You can still see it on top of some buildings and even some trees and cars. But now let's take a look at the current conditions. Right now it is 30 degrees, but it feels like 27. So if you're going to be going out this morning, make sure you grab a nice winter coat because it's a little cold. And then looking at the rest of the day, we are going to be seeing a little bit of snow accumulating, but it'll be less than half of an inch. And then it's going to warm up today, the highs of 35, then it's going to go back down to the upper 20s by the end of the night. And taking a look at the rest of the week, tomorrow is going to be very similar to today, chance of some light snow showers earlier this morning. But then there's not going to be a lot of wind. But then if you're a warm weather fan like me, then you can get excited to see that some temperatures are going to be going up. Friday, it's going to be a high of about 45 degrees, and then Saturday, a high of 63. I know I'm excited about it, but don't get too excited yet because we're going to be seeing a lot of snow showers on Saturday. But then to make up for it, we're going to see some sunny skies on Sunday and Monday to kick off our finals week. That's it for weather for today and for the semester. I'm Allison Turner. Back to you guys.
Let's take a look at one of the stories produced by a student in broadcast journalism class. NCC News reporter Marcus Castanda, who is with the Military Visual Journalism program, takes us to the New York State Fairgrounds where more than 2,000 people showed up to discard items that just can't be thrown away.
Sun King held its 15th e-recycling event this year, which provided people the opportunity to properly dispose of their old technology for free.
Just don't feel comfortable throwing these things out in the regular garbage.
There's probably precious metals inside TVs and other things that they'll probably recycle, and it's better than going in a landfill, I think.
Residents are required to recycle these items, but the methods to do so are limited or costly.
TVs, etc., just lying on the side of the street.
I might have had to try to find a place to pay to take them. It's really hard to get rid of these things.
Sun King collects more than 100 tons of old electronics such as these TVs and broken radios. But the real work starts when the event ends.
First it crosses the scale, determine what type of material it is for where it's going to go, whether it's going to go to our sort line or whether it's going to go to be dismantled or whether it's going to go to our shredder or it could go right into our IP, where they are rebuilding everything.
Sun King repairs and refurbishes some of the collected items, which follows New York's rule of reuse before recycling when it comes to solid waste.
Finding a way to reuse what we have in order to keep up with where this world is going is I think, a very important piece to the puzzle.
Sun King e-recycling provides tech disposal services in Western and Central New York. Marcus Castaneda, NCC News.
Joining me on the set is Petty Officer Cole Peelup and Staff Sergeant Manny Serrano. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Can you tell me a little bit more about the program, Cole?
Yeah, so we're in the Military Visual Journalism program. So there's going to be 8 sailors and 8 Marines, and we're here at SU for 1 year of just audio and visual training.
Awesome. And Manuel, can you tell me a little bit about the process? I know you had to go into a process to get into this program. Tell me about that.
So depending on the military program that you're going to go into, the Navy and the Marine Corps have a similar process where we both submit portfolios and we get screened against all the competitiveness within our field. So you definitely have to have a lot of great stuff in order to be here. So.
Of course. And Cole, can you tell me a little bit about the day-to-day life in your life?
Yeah, so we do a lot of audio and visual training. So like maybe we'll start off with audio class in the morning, and then in the afternoon we have a motion media class. And then usually afterwards we'll go out and we'll put those practices into place and create products and things like that.
Awesome. And I have to ask, Manuel, what is your favorite part?
I definitely have to say audio. You definitely get to experience a whole new level of creativity. You start from the ground and end up producing long pieces, 7 to 10 minutes, and you just definitely have the creativity freedom to learn what you want to hone.
Of course, and you're in such great programs, I do have to say, and I know you guys are wondering, I'm wondering, Cole, what is next?
Yeah, so after we finish this program, I'm going to be going to San Diego to an aircraft carrier down there for the next 3 years.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for being here. Thank you guys, and we'll follow up after this. Adriana?
Thanks again to Manuela and Cole and all of our fellow students who are serving in the U.S. military. We do appreciate your service. And coming up next, some thoughts from our Mornings on the Hill team as we prepare to say farewell for this semester.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Helmbrecht and welcome back. You know that feeling from the holidays where you're looking forward, you're super hopeful, and then you realize, shoot, I have work to do and bills to pay. Well, that's kind of how the men's basketball game went last night. Syracuse took on Villanova last night at Madison Square Garden, and Syracuse started off strong. Cole Swider hit a three-pointer to start the game. He was playing with something to prove. That's because Cole Swider transferred from Villanova this season. The game was pretty back and forth in the first half. Syracuse was looking good from behind the arc. Syracuse ended up having a 22 to 17 point lead. That was their highest lead. And ultimately, Jesse Edwards said, hey, don't forget about the defense too. In the second half, however, Syracuse was struggling a bit to keep up with Villanova. Jimmy Boeheim did have a great performance, though. 21 points was the second highest in his career for this season, However, Villanova really dominated from the defensive boards. They had 21 rebounds to Syracuse's 10 off the offensive boards. Now, Syracuse is taking on Georgetown in what many consider to be the biggest rivalry of the season. That game tips off this Saturday at noon. Now, speaking of basketball teams that are 5-4, the Syracuse women's basketball team takes on Cornell tonight. So for Christmas, I know one thing that Tisha Hyman would like to have, and those are 2 rebounds. Tisha is coming into this game after a record-breaking performance on Sunday against Central Connecticut State. Tisha Hyman almost became the first player in women's Power 5 history to have a quadruple double. Tisha was only 2 rebounds away from achieving that goal. Syracuse also had the highest number of points ever scored in a women's basketball game for the Orange with 116. Now the Orange tip off against Cornell tonight at 7 p.m. I'm wishing you a very happy holidays, and I hope that you can win the rest of the year.
Still to come on Mornings on the Hill, a Utica baseball team changes a young kid's life. And the Mornings on the Hill team shares what they're excited about ahead on Christmas break. Stay with us.
Hey guys, surprise. I just wanted to come on here and thank you guys for everything you have done for MOTH. As reporters, sports anchors, literally everything. You guys have made such an impact to make MOTH the best it could be this semester, and I really do appreciate all of the hard work that you've put in and out of class. I want to thank you guys all individually. So Allison, thank you so much for always stepping up and doing what's needed and going above and beyond. Lauren, thank you so much for always having a positive energy in the room. It really keeps us going, and everything you've done for MOTH has been so great. Kayla, thank you so much for always stepping up to write readers. I truly appreciate you helping out and everything. You also do an amazing job. I say that for all of you because you really have. James, sports are amazing as always. I love your reporting. Just thank you always for stepping up and helping others when you're done with your blocks and everything. Adriana, we're gonna miss you so much, but I'm so glad that you had the semester with us and that you were able to become closer with us. And just thank you for everything. We're really gonna miss you. Kritsia, man, thank you so much for always writing readers and just doing what's necessary, but also going above and beyond. You really know how to step up and also make the room positive. I really do appreciate having you in MOTH. I appreciate having all of you in MOTH. Gabe, it's your first time doing news reporting, and you've done an amazing job. You've improved so much. Everyone has seen it, so I'm really glad that you took this class with us and have learned BDJ style. I'm missing one person. Oh my goodness. Lexi, I'm so sorry. So Lexi, thank you so much for always coming in with a positive attitude and wanting to write and anchor and do everything. I really do appreciate it, and stepping up and making sure your packages make it onto air, and I'm gonna redo that and cut it. Lexi, thank you so much for always coming in with a positive attitude. I really appreciate it. You're so great anchoring, you're so great live reporting, doing sports. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Professor Copeland, Professor Habib, we couldn't have done the show without you. Your expertise and your guidance have helped all of us improve from the beginning of the semester to now. So from the bottom of my heart and from everyone on staff, I thank you for everything you guys have both done. We truly are grateful for the experience and the knowledge we have gained from this class. And lastly, to everyone, all of our MOTH viewers, this is our last show for the semester, so we hope you've enjoyed everything we've produced from the beginning to the end. As your executive producer for Mornings on the Hill for fall 2021, I'm Caitlin Parisi.
That was definitely the best MOTH mom we've ever had. We love you too, KP. More athletes have come forward about talking about their mental health more than ever, but it's incredibly rare for someone to struggle so much before they've even become a teenager. Our James Catato tells us how an 11-year-old's life changed after a local baseball team gave him the boost he needed.
When you think of collegiate baseball, you think of athletes anywhere from 18 to 22 years old. But you might not think that those people who are barely even adults and are still in college can help someone else fight their toughest battle. That's what the Utica Blue Sox did for one exceptional 11-year-old. Brooklyn Malioni was about as young as you could get when he picked up his first baseball.
I think 3.
He goes by the nickname B Money, and between the money socks, helmet, or the money chain, he brings his own flair to the game he's played his whole life, but it wasn't always like that.
Any of his sports practices, if he did, he was giving 0%. It was just kind of going through the motions. I would describe it as he was on autopilot.
Off the field, Brooklyn was bullied, and 3 years ago, the 11-year-old and his mom received some news from the doctor that would shake up their family's life.
He was diagnosed with anxiety and PTSD.
Some days I couldn't even get out of bed. Some days I couldn't even eat.
Watching your child struggling with that and not being able to flick a switch and make it better is probably the hardest, most discouraging thing you could ever watch as a mom.
On Brooklyn's 11th birthday, he blew out the candles and made one wish: to be a normal kid again. Because kids don't normally have to go through PTSD and anxiety when they're that young. But it was right here on his birthday night at Murnane Field, in front of this very dugout, where it all started to change.
B-Money, who is turning 11 today. Yeah, B-Money! Happy birthday, B-Money!
And then everyone just waited at the end of the game to say happy birthday. They all gave him an autograph ball. Ryan Anos came out and gave him an autographed baseball bat that he broke that day, and it said happy birthday.
After that day, B-Money was with the players for every game, from their highs and even lows. John Franchi runs the Utica Blue Sox Academy and saw how much those interactions meant to Brooklyn.
Something simple, something small, just as taking the field and playing catch with them, made the kid feel 10 feet tall. And here's this kid who's constantly being bullied and constantly being picked on to being the face of the show.
It changed my life completely. In 5 seconds, I walked into the dugout, and the Blue Sox taught me how to be myself and not to care about what other people think.
Franchi has worked as Brooklyn's trainer for a year now. Pride can't even begin to describe how he feels towards Brooklyn's progress as a player and a person.
What makes me happy is seeing the kid not only be successful, but seeing him stand up for himself, defend himself, knowing that he has worth, he has value.
As B continues to get older, his outlook at how he'll use these experiences for the rest of his life is right on the money.
I'm going to treat everyone how I'm supposed to treat people, and even if they're mean to me, I'm going to still show them respect, and that's what the Blue Sox taught me.
Reporting, James Catato.
Life is great.
NCC. To note, B-Money and his mom both say that 2 of the Utica Blue Sox, shortstop Eddie Javier Jr. and pitcher Gio Canales, text him to check up on him and have conversations with him every day. Guys?
Snow is falling, classes are ending, and Christmas is approaching. Our own Michaela Armstrong is here with your entertainment report for all you need to know this holiday season.
Tuesday night meant the return of the People's Choice Awards. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was the biggest winner of the night, taking home trophies for Male Movie Star and Comedy Movie Star of the Year. Johnson was also honored with the People's Champion Award for film. Black Widow won Movie of the Year, and in music, Olivia Rodrigo won Best Album of the Year for her album Soul. The win is following Rodrigo's announcement of her Sour Tour in 2022. The tour will run from April to July, kicking off its first show in San Francisco. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Michaela Armstrong, but I've got a little bit more. Today is the last show of Mornings on the Hill for the year, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't ask some familiar faces what they thought about the holidays and the day ahead.
Really excited to do no homework. That sounds amazing right now. I love Christmas. I know I sounded like a bit of a curmudgeon earlier in the year when I said you shouldn't play Christmas music before Thanksgiving. Don't think that means I don't love Christmas. It's just, you know, I like the Christmas season, which is mainly in December.
I love Christmas. I am so excited to go home and be with my family and just spend time together.
I was a little skeptical going into it because I'm not a huge morning person, but this crew has been above and beyond what I expected. These are some of my closest friends now, and I'm so glad that I had this experience to share with just incredible people.
That's really sad when you say it out loud. It's bittersweet. It's gonna be a good show. So, but it's kind of sad. It's very sad that we're not all gonna be together.
I'm very sentimental. I've been here for 2 semesters now, so it's gonna be really bittersweet.
It's got to be Nat King Cole, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. It's the quintessential Christmas song.
Anything Michael Bublé, honestly. I love Michael Bublé.
White Christmas. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Well, we are definitely excited for Christmas. Now, Kritzy, I have to ask, what are you gonna ask Santa for?
I think I'm going to ask Santa for an Apple Watch. I think I need to go ahead and make that investment. Everyone's got one, so I need to jump on the bandwagon. What about you?
You need the Apple Watch to get on time to the newsroom. I think I'm gonna get some makeup probably for my career on television after MOTH.
Amazing. That's going to do it for us this Wednesday on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Kritzia. Make sure you follow us on social media.
And I'm Adriana Rosas Rivera. Thanks for watching our last show of the semester, Orange Nation. We'll see you next spring live at 10 a.m. right here on OTN.